you can't make everybody happy. Sometimes you could give people a bar of gold and they're going to complain that it's gold colored, So some people just are never going to be pleased. Hey friends, I'm Zach.
And I'm Trish, and you're listening to
The Backwoods Business Podcast, where we talk with real people
about real business
who have real problems
and real solutions. Let's get real. So today we have Dave from Magport, and I am super, super excited because Dave makes this fabulous product. He's going to tell you all about it. But we use it, we love it, we're obsessed. So hey Dave, thanks for joining us.
Hey. Yeah. We love your business, we love your product actually. I don't know, we were just saying, I don't know why it's not in Woodcraft and Rockler and all this kind of stuff, because it is an awesome product. It is super functional,
Thank you. So tell us about it.
Yeah, tell us about your product and tell us about you.
Sure. Well, Magport is, it's a magnetic dust collection fitting system, as you know. And it basically is designed more for the guys and the gals with the small shops, and they have only one dust collection system, and they want to be able to quickly attach from one machine to the next, because just the way, if you're not in a production setting, you're always going to be backtracking in your workflow to go back over and over from one machine to the next. And it just becomes a real problem. So I came up with this system some years ago in order to sort of fix that problem that I was having as a woodworker, which I am still a woodworker. I always consider myself a woodworker first. And but now honestly, I am a plastics guy too. So I never saw that coming. Never thought that would be a thing.
Life takes all sorts of journeys.
Yeah, it does, and I've fully embraced it, and it's very similar to wood. There's a lot of similarities, which was what really allowed me to move right into it without too much of a learning curve. I mean there are a lot of learning curves along the way. So, so that's been going on for the last it's been full time since July of 2019, when. Just kind of a shot in the dark, I sent some product up to Fine Woodworking, and because I've had somewhat of a relationship with those people up there over the years, and so I put my contact's name on there and sent it off, and I think I struck up a conversation. And they said, "Well, we'll take a look at it, and but there's no guarantees." And so then, 6 months go by, and they call me back, or they wrote me back and said, well, we like it and we might run it, but there's no guarantees. So, and next thing I know,
no guarantees, don't you love it?
It ran, and it really kicked it off. And that was in the July of 2019 issue. So that's what made it kind of go from just some random thing I was doing on the side and I was working to prepare myself for that transition at that time, but that's when it happened, and that's pretty much why it happened. And then it's been a blast. I mean, honestly, it's a real different experience than doing custom woodworking. And I learned. I mean, and now I'm so excited that I want to have the time to go back into woodworking, because of the things I've learned here. So.
Yeah.
That's what I see in the future. Is I definitely want to make some wood products. Is really how I'm thinking of it, more so than custom.
So on your product, one of the things I actually realized too, it makes people's shops more efficient, not only because you can swap it back and forth to different machines and everything like that, but it actually kind of saves you money if you think about it too, because you don't need as powerful of a dust collection either. If you have a shorter hose going from a dust collection to your machine, and you're only going to one machine, your CFM's being used a hell of a lot better, versus with my original setup, I had some hoses going with different blast gates, all sorts of stuff. And because of that, there's a lot of lost suction. You don't need that with this. You just quickly swap it over, and it's more efficient. Better.
I think it's user friendly too.
Yeah, user friendly. Yeah.
I could just pop it together. I'm like, oh, I don't have to read a manual on this.
No screwdriver.
Super easy. It pops. Like, I hate those darn things
Yeah.
you gotta tighten down. And he was gone last year, and I had to figure out how to be a woodworker like overnight, and it was not my jam messing with these hoses. And I was like, where was this product?
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know, when you're using, you know, when you're just starting out, you might be using consumer grade stuff. You may not need. Like I grew up, you know, I remember one of the vivid memories I have of growing up, and my dad had a planer, you know, a 12-inch bench top, and vivid memory of not having dust collection whatsoever, and the chips fell right onto the board as it was feeding out, and that was just the way it was, and so thinking, but now, like, you know, most of the machines, most more industrial machines really require dust collection, or else they'll be clogged consistently.
Overheat,
but
all sorts of things.
Yeah, exactly. That's another reason to run dust collection, is just to get air over the motors that might be getting too hot, for sure.
Definitely.
So I love that you saw a pain point like in the making community, right? Like this is something that every single woodworker is going to struggle with. It's just, it goes with the territory, right? So you saw this pain point and you were like, I'm going to find the solution and take it to market. So how has that process been for you?
So, you know, I'm really fortunate to have, you know, like, I aside from custom furniture and woodworking, you know, I was doing a lot of video production with, you know, for other people. And so I was like, just sort of dipping my toes in a lot of different stuff in the last, you know, 15 years, you know, but my main thing had always been woodworking. And I have a brother who was really getting into 3D printing, and, you know, 10 years ago, it was a lot different than it is now. And so he was able to 3D print me. So I made the original Magports were wood and plastic. I had chopped some ABS fittings from Woodcraft into pieces that I could link up with wood with the magnets in there. And I used them for like a couple years, you know. And I was just like, I don't know how to move forward with this. And so we began 3D printing prototypes that were, you know, like the 3D printing was still so primitive that they were functional, but you obviously couldn't sell them. And and our products aren't 3D printed either, but that led into sort of the next generation of thinking of it in a different way, you know? So then from the wood prototypes, I began buying plastics of all kinds, you know, and testing them out and making jigs and fixtures and things. And the very first one, when I knew it was a product that I could sell, was when it's in its current form. That happened really quickly and really, really abruptly almost, you know, just all of a sudden that it was there. And I was just like, okay, it's robust enough to use every day, you know? And that's when I realized that, you know, I need to, I start working on getting this thing to market. And then, so once I had that functional prototype in its current form, the way it is now, I spent the next 2 years or so creating all the infrastructure around it so that I could create it in any amount of, you know, larger quantities than I was.
Scale it.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then, so now I'm at the point where, you know, I'm at a crossroads with how I'm going to go forward with production. Cause I have had other means of production. I've experimented with other means of production, and I've kind of zoned in on a direction I want to go, and sort of working to implement that.
What is that direction? What are you thinking for making it?
It's CNC.
Okay.
It's a combination of resin casting and CNC. So, and it'll be, and then there will be some handwork too. And, you know, from studying manufacturing over the last, I'm no expert in manufacturing, you know, I studied traditional woodworking, you know, and so moving into manufacturing, I mean, it's a mistake to think that everything should be mechanized or automated. So I'm shooting for a marriage of CNC, but with some handwork. So that's, you know, hopefully in the next year, I'll be closer to that goal.
Nice.
Do you want to see it in big box, or do you love that it's just kind of floats around the maker community? You
know, it's amazing how many this is my first tool I've ever made. I mean, this is my first tool I've ever sold.
Okay.
I've always liked making tools. We all make tools. I'm sure you guys make tools.
Yeah.
Even simple ones. Just.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how many small retailers have reached out asking to sell in their store.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The two barriers I have for that is hopefully with the new CNC I have coming, I'll be able to get the price down low enough to give people a wholesale price.
Yeah.
And then the second is to improve packaging to where, and get it and to try to roll all that into the wholesale cost, so that it can be distributed by them and without any extra care that any other product in their store requires.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about that. Actually, your price is extremely affordable for the product that you're providing. It is well made. Like I fully expected when I was thinking 3D print in my mind. I was thinking 3D printed. A lot of times 3D printed is hollow and kind of flimsy,
This is sturdy.
Yeah, it's sturdy. It's all. And so when I got it and I was looking at the price on the website, I was like, this is extremely affordable. He needs to double this at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the proper packaging, you could.
I think so.
Yeah.
There's a lot that has to be delivered to give that value
presentation,
added. But the device itself would stand. I mean,
what's funny?
would be.
One of our key products that are out there, actually, as soon as we got good packaging for it, a box, we were easily able to add about probably 40% to the price of it, actually, just by adding.
Because now it's shelf ready.
Exactly, it's shelf ready.
Yeah,
we made it so that it can hang up on one of those wire hooks. We put the barcode on it.
Yeah, the UPC. Get a GS1 UPC code.
GS1,
that's affordable, and you run with it, and you can. Sky's the limit. I mean, it's awesome. Once your production is up and ready to really scale, that's definitely something we've doubled in. Did you patent this? I have to ask you.
I have had provisional patents in the past, so I've had some level of patent protection.
Good.
One thing I do have that is hopefully going to be registered soon as a trademark. So I'm trying to get the IP kind of under my belt, prepare for.
Well, about 2 years ago, we went through that process with the trademark for our main product. We got a trademark and a patent. We actually just got our official patent.
Issued.
Awesome.
Just issued.
Like 2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we're excited about that. That took 2 years.
2 years,
So it takes forever, as you know.
That's awesome.
You provisional. But
we found a pro bono attorney
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
that handled those fees, and they are out there, and they specialize in different areas, and that could be something amazing. Like,
I don't know if you looked at pro bono, but
maybe there's pro bono in your area, an attorney that is looking to take on that kind of stuff, and they can file all the paperwork. I'm not trying to be a lawyer. Yeah, but definitely, this is intellectual property. That's something that no one else is doing, and it works fantastic. So cover your basics.
I think all we did was Google pro bono patent, and we found a company.
Yeah, we searched a lot.
That's awesome.
But they're
That's
out
very
there.
smart.
Very
smart.
Use your resources, Then
Yeah,
you
2
can
years
be in the
ago, our
shop,
business
they can
was
handle
not
that.
what it is today, so
Oh my
we needed
gosh.
pro bono at the time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Different. Oh my gosh. Okay, so how about do you have any other struggles currently that you're facing with the way that everything is e-commerce now, right? So you have to be able to reach people.
Yeah, retail versus the wholesale. You said you're trying to get into wholesale, but struggles with retail, which customers are always an issue, right? Well, not
definitely.
An issue, wrong word. They're a hurdle.
It's so earlier or at certain times in this business, I have the extra time and extra energy to talk to customers in more depth than other times, but other times I'm out there making tons of noise and covered in total gear, and I can't answer the phone, and it just becomes sort of it's just like a slippery slope. It just sort of or I guess it's just snowball effect. It just gathers, and it's kind of hard to then go back through the emails back through the voicemails and things. And but when you know, there are times when it's easier than other times, and so to try to maintain consistency has been tough for sure. So that's something I'm working on. You know, definitely.
I'm there with you. We have very different approaches when it comes to the typical customer, you know, because we've had to accept that you can't make everybody happy. That's the end result of it. I mean, we try our damnedest to make them all happy, but sometimes you could give people a bar of gold and they're gonna complain that it's gold colored, you know? So some people just are never going to be pleased. I have one way that I would probably deal with it, and it's the wrong way, but she is amazing at it, actually. I'm like you, I prefer to be out there covered in some gear or whatever, covered in sawdust, things like that.
Hands dirty.
Yeah, I would much rather not be on the phone or on email or anything like that, but she's awesome.
But I don't mind it. I love people and customer relations and building those relationships. So if somebody sends me a DM on Instagram, like, I saw this product, can you tell me about it? Sure, sit down, let's have a conversation. We will go back and forth. You're gonna get the owner. If you have questions about it, technical questions, I'll shoot you to Zach, but I'm able to kind of funnel that with him. So I think that we work well that way. And I have a little more, I don't know. Tact. Yeah, let's go with tact. I'm not, you know, that allows us, we're in 53 stores in the US alone, and that's customer relations based. Like if Zach had to handle that, it'd be a little bit of a hot mess. So,
I'm always asking her, how many stores are we in now? How many are we in?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm
daily,
but and then maintaining those relationships and everything, because the customer then is the store, not the retail customer. You know?
Wow.
I think it's lots of little hacks, for a lack of a better term here. Lots of little hacks, I think, that make customer relations easier. Like one thing, she's sure to put in every email or message that she's the owner. You know, little things like that. It sounds, that's our weakness is that we are a pair for our business. We are our entire business. It sounds like it might be solely you, almost solely you, at least as the business right now, which is, it's a weakness in the sense that you're busy, but the strength is you're the one that's replying. So you can say owner, and that gives that person receiving your message that it's a perceived value, you know.
That we mail out, there is a card that goes in it, and it has our faces on it, and there's a little like, thanks for supporting our small business. We appreciate you.
That's cool.
If you have questions or whatever, here's my email. Here's how you can
reach me.
Those
little things go a long way.
People we get random emails from people saying like, oh, I love that little card of your family. Like, that was so cute. I can't wait to buy again. Yeah. I'm like, because you've created that connection now with somebody. So
we actually came to that realization recently. Connection. I think
it's huge.
We're constantly trying to figure out who is our ideal customer. I'm sure every person is, but I think a commonality among a lot of businesses, especially right now, the last 2 years, you know, is that connection. People are missing connection. And the more connection you can drive with people, even if it's just perceived connection through a postcard, I'm not saying call everybody up and ask how their dog's doing, but if you have a perceived connection through a postcard, things like that, they're going to be less likely to become a pain and more likely to talk about your brand in a positive manner.
Which will generate, word of mouth sales and stuff. Like, hey man, have you seen this thing that Dave makes? This is awesome. Like, here's his card. You got to get one of these for your shop, or you got to just outfit the whole shop with it because Dave makes these. Like, this is so cool.
I think you should put your face on a lot of things more, you know? I was trying to think about it, at least your most recent post on social media, I didn't see your face on any of it. Get your face out there. Yeah. That would probably help a lot, you know?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I've always, played with the idea of doing more of that kind of, approach. It's just the introvert in me has always been
I know, you have to fight it.
Sort of quiet. I know.
That's me.
So my sister, I have to tell you, my sister started a business about 1.5 years ago, and she's crazy introverted. Like, does not want to get out of her shell. She makes amazing candles, and like it's her jam, and like everybody should have them. They smell amazing. She does not want to put her face on anything. I'm like, this is the most beautiful woman I've seen, and like she just can't. She just doesn't want to do it, right? But there is a connection, like, oh my gosh, I bought these candles from Joanna, and like she is the cutest, and you all need them. Like, everybody gets a housewarming candle now, like totally. People want to feel that connection where you know, with retail shops are closed, like, well, okay, shopping online is just boring. Like I know what I need. I can click add to cart, whether it's Amazon or a small business. I'd rather support a small business. I'd rather buy from somebody like, hey, so-and-so out in California made this product. Like, that's super cool.
And that's one of the strengths we have as a small business. I saw an ad recently. It was on TikTok, actually. I'm not a fan of that platform personally, but we're too old. I know there's a benefit to that platform for advertising and everything. So we've been looking into it more. But TikTok, there was an ad for Best Buy on there, and Best Buy, big company, there's not a face to the brand Best Buy, and it's obvious that they see that there's a need for that connection, and so their ad wasn't a single product. It was nothing. It was one of their floor workers basically taking little selfies around the store. Yeah, that was it.
Just to connect.
Yeah, like there was a connection there. That was it.
Totally.
And we're seeing it all over the place.
I agree, and I feel like the same sort of approach makes sense for, you know, there was a period like, you know, 10 years ago when Kickstarter was just beginning, when like every single video that you would see on there was like really polished and really, you know, like done by professionals, and it seemed a little inauthentic when it was, you know, and then fast forward, I feel like people have in a lot of ways, they've kept the production value, but they've lost the stuffy, like, you know, talking head approach. And I just feel like, so I've always kind of felt like if I was going to do, so hopefully soon, I don't know if have you seen, I have a YouTube channel out there.
I haven't come across it yet. Looks like I'm going to be looking that up right after we end this call.
Yeah, it's something, so I think the very first video I ever put on there, so the first or the first few, one of the first few was.
Real quick, what's your handle on YouTube, just so we can plug it on the podcast?
It's Dave Moore, 2 words.
Okay.
Dave Moore.
Dave Moore,
you know?
You got it. All right.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. There's a picture of a chair, and so
perfect.
Like, I don't even know. Like, I think it was one of the 2008 or 9 or something. A buddy had to do a senior, you know, video thing for college. We were, you know, finishing college around then, and he made a commercial about me doing woodwork, and that was like my first YouTube video. Cool. And it was amazing because at that time there really weren't that many people doing it, and I was contacted by that's how I made the relationship with Fine Woodworking. Is they saw that video and they're like, hey,
awesome.
you want to write some articles for us? And I'm like,
nice.
That's crazy, you know. Sure. And so I had a lot of momentum for YouTube at that time, and again, this was like before the current iteration of YouTube exists, and so there wasn't really a format for like the influencer thing, and so I had like a really fun time and a good run making stuff for YouTube at the time. And that's kind of what I want to get back to, is like when I get to the next phase of production where I have more time for marketing, my plan is to spend that time doing really awesome wood projects that interest me, that stuff that I haven't been able to do since school. And so that's you know, like, because I've been working and doing things for everyone else, for customers over the years, and it's like it took all my focus to make that stuff all those years, and so that'll be the next phase. So when you see that YouTube channel start picking up again, I think you'll see the new approach. I mean, I want to do stuff that's like, you know, kind of like just furniture the study of furniture history and things like that, you know, stuff that really is not so flashy, but like stuff that like really kept me interested, you know, like over these years, and I've lost touch with, and I want to regain touch with that stuff. So
people would really enjoy watching that, and especially because it seems to spark that passion inside of you. That is something you can absolutely like run with and capitalize on, whether it's an Instagram ad, like of you explaining it or handcrafting a piece that was inspired by, your kind of analysis of whatever the piece was, that will be exponential for you, like especially with your face behind it. And it could really launch you into that next area once you're like set up and ready to run. Like I feel like that would be amazing.
Yeah. Have you heard of Workbench Con?
Actually, recently. Someone asked me, was it maybe you asked me?
Maybe.
Somebody asked me.
It's very possible, I don't know.
if I was going to be there.
Yeah.
Maybe. I maybe, yeah.
Okay.
So
Are
we're
you
going to
going?
be, yeah, are you going?
No, I have, we have, you guys have kids, I see, and you have 4 kids? Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Holy cow. Right.
Wow. Yeah. Because we have 3, and that's plenty.
That's a lot.
So because we have twins, and they're just it's crazy at home. So, but I love it. I'm having a great time. But it's like I haven't been away from the house for. We were actually talking about it the other night. I don't think I've gone anywhere for more than 24 hours for 3 years. So
yeah.
We get that.
We get that.
Totally
we're
get
flying
that.
out grandparents to come watch the kids while we go to Atlanta for Workbench Con. We're going to be speakers at it, actually, talking about.
Awesome.
So that's what made me think about it. You mentioned the marketing aspect of it and everything. That's when we're speakers there. We're going to be talking about marketing your small business using Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Actually,
excellent.
I think that's one of the things we've 90%
failed forward on.
Yeah, failed forward. There you go. We've 90% figured it out. I think that last 10% they change it just so that they can keep on charging you more money. But yeah, I think we've about 90% figured it out. So we're going to be talking about that at Workbench Con, actually.
Yeah. So
Cool.
I feel like
I will
to bring your product to that event, like even just your face and your business card, the networking potential right there and possibility to really like foray you, for lack of a better word.
But they go to that.
They were there,
They would be a good one to probably get into.
It would be a phenomenal asset for you to look into. Like I know it's hard. The wife and kids
was there too.
The wife and kids can hang in the hotel room and they
There
can have
you
a
go. Bring 'em
blast.
all.
They can go to the pool. They can have it'll just be like a whole weekend trip,
Yeah.
When is it, by the way?
It's awesome.
coming up.
It's
It's
a
in
conference.
February.
It's in February. I think it's
February.
the 24th and 5th. I think.
Yeah.
But it's for
24th,
makers
25th,
and this community specifically. And really, we went 2 years ago and we met Anna of All Trades, who's phenomenal.
I don't know how she does as much as she does as far as
She's a
her
rock star.
brand and everything. She does a
She's
great job
amazing.
building her brand.
And then Donnie with Designs by Donnie. And like
Nee's
talk
awesome,
about two people that really like crossed our paths at the most perfect time to kind of say like, hey, it's cool that you're woodworking. Have you ever thought about doing this with it or this?
Writing
this,
articles,
or
stuff
this?
like that. Yeah.
I mean, like our heads exploded when we walked out of both of those sessions. Like, and we've been doing this for 3 or 4 years at that point. Like, we never would have thought to try.
It was shortly after that I think we
pivot.
started scaling our business more too.
It took off.
Yeah.
It really took off because
Before all that, our main revenue for our business was craft shows, stuff like that. We went to craft shows, selling at growers markets and farmers markets, things like that, and it was okay as a hobby. Nowhere near being able to live off of it. So luckily, that wasn't our full time thing at the time.
Yeah,
I was
for sure.
I was in the Air Force at that time, so that was our main paycheck from there. But yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, it was good. It was good. Well, we are probably over our time now. Actually, I think we are. I'm looking at the time right now. So. It was fantastic talking to you. Let's hear your
Great talking
plug.
to you guys. Thanks.
Yeah. Let's hear your plug as far as where to find your products, all that kind of stuff, where people can find you, the brand, all that.
Well, the only place at the moment that you can find Magports is at magport.net.
How about on social? Are you just on Instagram for Magport?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for joining us. It was awesome talking to you. Hopefully we'll stay in touch.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching the Backwoods Business Podcast.
Make sure you like and subscribe below.
And when our next episode is available, it'll pop up right over there. Make sure you click it.